Okay, so today I want to talk to my realtor team about prospecting. And I keep talking about this over and over because it is the number one issue that separates people who become full-time realtors and make a lot of money in this business and the people who sell, 3 or 4 houses a year and they're out of the business in 3 years, or they never sell more than the 3 houses a year. And brokers won't tell you this. When you get a real estate license, you go talk to a broker and you say, can I work at your company? And they don't tell you that doing the job of being a realtor is super easy. That's where you have a client and they want to list their house, or they want you to help them buy a house. The part of being a realtor, that's the easy part. And that's the only thing that people think about when they decide to get in this business. But the problem is the hard part, which is prospecting, lead generation, turning leads into clients. That's the hard part, and that's the part that nobody wants to do, okay? And I think there are 4 prospecting models, and you need to pick at least 2 of these if you want to consistently generate clients, stay in this business, and make good money. And the first prospecting model is the one that doesn't work. I call it waiting for crumbs to fall off the table. And that's where realtors actually don't prospect. They just hope once in a while they get a floor time call that winds up in a client and a sale, or they're hoping that once in a while they get an internet lead from their broker's site. That's where they're just waiting. They actually don't prospect. They're just waiting for business to hopefully find them. They're just waiting for a crumb to fall off the table. And that's where you're going to sell 2 to 4 houses a year, maybe 5. And you're going to make a little bit of money, and eventually you'll get frustrated with this business and you'll quit and go get a job. The second model is where you pay people to prospect for you. And that's where you're paying Zillow for leads, you're paying Realtor.com for leads, you're paying Boomtown for leads. That's where you're paying for internet leads, and you're in a round robin or in a zip code, and hopefully people looking for homes will click on you, and you'll hopefully answer the phone when that lead comes your way, and hopefully that lead will turn into a client and a closed transaction. I find that the ROI on the paid leads is very slim. If you're lucky, you break even on those. I don't really think it's a great model. Some people excel at it and do better than other people, but that's the model where you're paying somebody to prospect for you. The third model is where you're doing it yourself. And that's where you're out there, you're doing open houses, you're trying to contact expired listings, you're trying to work with for sale by owners, you are trying to get as much floor time as you can, you are calling people door knocking, farming neighborhoods, going to garage sales and trying to talk to the sellers when they're in driveways. Any of those things where you're proactively looking for people who want to buy and sell now, and you are trying to find people who are interested in the next 1 to 3 months in buying and selling real estate. That's one model where you're doing it yourself, and it's proactive, and you're looking for people now. That's a great model. I think that is one of the models that every new agent should have, is where you're going to try to work with expired for sale by owners, you're going to do open houses, you're going to get on social media and try to use IM and contact people who maybe their house is vacant. You find out who the owner is. You go on Facebook, things like that. Again, floor time, internet leads from your broker's website, asking if you can do open houses for the listings of other agents in your office. But that's a do-it-yourself model where you're proactive. The fourth model is kind of a working by referral, building a business model. It's one of the best models if you can stay in the business long enough and build this model. And that's where you're joining clubs like Rotary, Young Area Professionals, the Apartment Association, Athena, any club, your tennis league, your golf league, fantasy football league, whatever. But you're trying to be around groups of people, and you are adding those people to your database. You're putting them in your Outlook or Google contacts, and then you're putting them in your email newsletter, or you're connecting with them on LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. You're putting them, you're creating an auto email for them for houses around their neighborhood. You're emailing them items of value about the real estate industry. What should they invest in their home? What insurances do they have? Security issues in their home, things like that. And if you keep building up that database over time, eventually when those people are thinking about buying and selling, or they know somebody who's thinking about buying and selling, you're going to be top of mind to them and they're going to use you. And that's a model I think every realtor should do. It takes time for that model to pay off, but when it does start to pay off, your phone's ringing and people are coming to you for you to handle their business, or they're referring you to people they know. So those are your 4 models, okay, where you're waiting for crumbs to fall off the table. You're paying people to prospect for you. You're proactively prospecting to people you don't know, or you're trying to prospect with and build up the database of people you do know. Again, I think every new agent should have at least 2 of those models. And I don't recommend model number 1 because it doesn't work. The people that just never prospect the other 3 models and they're just waiting for crumbs to fall off the table, they stay hungry, unfortunately. I recommend at least 2 of the other 3 models, all 3 if you can do it. If you can afford to pay for Zillow leads and Realtor.com leads, then do it, okay? But be ready to answer your phone. I recommend that you take 1 or 2 of those, the model number 2 where you're prospecting to people you don't know, open houses, expired for sub-owners, door knocking. I recommend you get 1 of those models or 2 of those models and be really good at it. And then the 3rd model of building up your database and staying in contact with those people with items of value, definitely recommend it. If you want to be in the business long term, you need to do it. So those are your 4 models. But trust me, if you don't prospect, you won't sell and you won't last in this business. So I hope that's helpful, and I'm going to try to release a video like this to all you guys once a week. So have a great week.